find it. Here it is. Okay. Okay, so I think where we're at now is a place where there's going to be some changes in the order. We read through on page Tuf Resh Mem Aleph. So we went through this and we got down to Tikuni Kadamah Atikuni Tleser. Now this is actually a whole kata here, which I didn't realize when we were looking before, but if we go back, way back to page Kufa and Taz, that's where this actually is seen. We went through this. So I guess what I'm going to do, I was thinking about it, is just take them one at a time, because actually these are 13 pieces that's all together. This is describing the beard. They're the 13 pieces. But we're going to take them one at a time. So the first one, I'm just going to read the top because we're going to be dealing with it now. The Tikunit Kadimoah, which is Kufa on page Kufa and Tes, once again. It says the first Tikun, Mikumei Pischa de Udnim, if you remember, that is in front of the opening of the ear canal. Shara Yakira the Histaken. Yakiro here is thought, that's the word for Zakan, for beard. So that's where it begins to be built. Whatever a tikkun, we always mean is matus of the light, really. So it's the first, it's like a tzimtzum that's taking place right there. This is where it starts to be built, and as a result of that, that you start seeing more physicality here. So let's go back over to where we were, and this is on page Taf Resh, Pei Aleph, and just quoting the top Siman Vav, he says Tikuni Kadimah, he says, etc. Tikuni Taleser. So really going to tell you all of these, and this blurb is really just going to mention the names of the different Tikunim. So since we're going to do them one at a time, so I'm going to skip that, and we'll go over to the beginning. So he says, let me see how bad my glasses are here. It could be worse. So he says, Tikuni Kadimah. So here we go. He says, Be'inyan Ezel Milus B'Sifra D'Tzniuta. So in regards to the words that we're using over the Sifra D'Tzniuta, Shaykh the Tikuna Kadimah, and the first that referred to this, Ube'eza Milus Maskil Tikuni Tinyana, and then where in fact are the words that would begin the beginning of the second Tikun. Yesh B'Zeh Shlosha Shitos. So there's three different ways to look at this, and now we're going to look at these three different Shitos. Let's see. Okay, so it says like this. He says, Lefi Arizal, Sherman Mari Rashbi, Bahar Ramak, Ba'or Yakar Khan. He said these two. He said, V'dekuna Kadamo Hukach, Mikmei Pischa de Udnin. That's our simple understanding. Shari Yukida de Histake, Khan. Ve'ela Tikuna Tinyana Hukach. This is going to be the second one. It's going to be, in this way to understand it, Nachat B'Sfasa B'Shvira. It goes down in a beautiful way. Beresha the Sifavon. So he says to the, I guess, the beginning of the lip. The high ratio, and it goes from one side to the other side. Ad Khan, so this is what it says over there. He says, Rei Bebir Abishulov, Via Rizal, for Arasham, Ma Shaniz Boyer Bazah. Now, let's look at number Aleph. There was a little number Aleph up there where it says, Be'inyan Ezim Milu specific Tzniuta. What does he want to say over here? Let me get down a little bit closer. He says, Hakdama, Baklal Bir, Inyan, the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikta, the Erikanpin, Yesh Arichus Gedola Be'idra Rabba, there really talks about it in great depth. Of a Mafarshim Sham, you could see it. Yu'un Sham Bechain, what is it called? Ha'otze Beruhim, this Yased, Be'iker, Levoya Lishonos, Sifra D'Tzniuta, but here we're trying to understand what the Sifra D'Tzniuta is talking about. V'lechein Lo Bo Kan, Rak, Devarim HaKasharim of the beer HaSifra D'Tzniuta. Let me move this. I'm reading off of my screen now, so let me move a little closer to myself. Okay, now that was number Aleph. That was the note number Aleph on the first way of looking at this, and let's look at the second way. He says Lefi Bira Gloakan. So according to that, Beis and Milus Nachi B'Sfiro. That plays that it went down in a beautiful way. Shayachan the Tikun Kadmor really refers so he says that's the Tikun Kadmor that's really part of the concept of the first Tikun, not the second one. So therefore I want you to read it like this, he says. Mikmei from the opening, from being in front of the Piska de Udnin, Shari Yakira the Histakin, that's where you start to see the Tikun of the beard. Nached b'shviro, and it moves down in a beautiful way. Adkan. So you think obviously in this word b'shviro, you're wondering what he's talking about here. Adkan ubeis milos beresha the sifavan. Those two words, where it talks about the beginning of the lips. Shaykhan the tikun dinyana. That's really going on the second one. So read it like with the nached b'shviro, that it's going down in a beautiful way. He says. That refers to the first tikun. So this is the resha. This is the way to read it. Beresha the sifavan, mahai resha the high resha. That's the second one. So he said the first part where it says nachid b'shvira goes on the first tikun. Adkan rei mashin is boyer b'zecha b'bira mashuda the ficha grua. So we're going to see more on that. That's the second shita altogether. So now come to the Marie Saruk. Hamuba Bezoar Rekia. So apparently this Sefer Bezoar Rekia, I don't know if that's his Sefer, I guess. Of Ebech and Memelech, also over there, and there's other Pirushim, Milas Elu, he says these words. Now let's try to understand what these words mean. He says, Nachis B'Shaviro B'Resha the Sifavan, so it goes down in a beautiful way down to the tip of the mouth, or the tip of the lip, rather, the beginning of the lip. Shaykhan the Tikun Kadmor, that all goes along with the first Tikun. So this is where to reach the movement. Mikmei Pischa the Udne, Shari Yakida the Istake, Nacha B'Shvira B'Resha the Sifavan. He says that's the whole thing, that all goes together Adkan. Ve'ela Tikun Tikanya, so if you say that and you put in the Resha the Sifavan, then you got to do something with the second one. So the second one, the second Tikun Tikunyahu, who Rak Elu Hamilus Mahai Resha Lahai Resha. Okay, it doesn't say the word lips. So going on. There's a little bit more here. So he rei befirish marisa rok over there shabir inyan tikuni kademo v'zel l'shon and mikmei piska the udnin once again. The lifnei pesichas hapesacha, the opening of the canal, I guess the ear canal. The hainu tachas hapeyos, that is underneath the corners of where the hair comes down, begins the beard. So he says, Shari, that's where it began. The Yakira, the Histakin, the beard begins there. Maskil, the Histakna, so again, he translates again. Maskil, the Histakin, Zakan. Naches B'Shafiro, it goes down in a beautiful way. Beresha the Sifavan. V'nachis, it goes down, which means v'yored goes down. Hasa'aras shel zakan biyofi mitzad yam, in the small, they go down in a beautiful way on the right side and the left side. Ad resha the sifavan, until you get to the beginning of the lip. The haino, he has a Yiddish word for it, but this is granin. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Safam, to the lips. B'lashon Ashkenaz, he says that's in Yiddish. So this is the first tikun. Hanikra mi kel kamocha, and he calls it by that name, which is actually the flow of the light that's inside of the hair. Adkan. V'chein rei b'zohar rikia. Let's see over there. Now it turns out that there is a note on this down at the bottom. So let's see how close I can get to it. So he says the Od Chosav B'Pirish Marisa Ruk. So we go on to that Sham the Voyer, and he wants to say the Voyer. So he said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Hosef v'pirish v'marisa rok sham levoyer lefi darko v'zel l'sham b'tzarak ata the das. You have to know this. Shas naim shal adam kadmo. Now we're talking here where we are. We're talking about the beard of Eric Anpin. I'm learning with this little young man on Shabbos about Adam Kadmon. It's sort of like the same, similar ideas. He says the das shahaznayim shal Adam Kadmon naasach b'shem sag atmo hakolu b'shem av kadifrishno la'el. Now I'm not sure what he meant by sag atzmo hakolu b'shem av, which is what. The name is Sag, the Sag to Av, is that what he's talking about? I'm not sure, but that's going back to Adam Kadma, to the Frishna La'el. Naim Shecha Batika, but Batika is Erikanpet. Zun Na'asacha B'min HaDefus, the form, the template, Shenasano Adam Kadma, that was given to him by Adam Kadma. Zecha B'dahaidacha B'natrin Hayin, Shalom Midui Shem Sag. Now, this is something that I haven't heard before, so he says there are two Heys in the name Sag, okay? Hey Yud and Hey Yud twice. So he says that he's talking, there are two Yudin in that Milui. So he says, let me go back again. He says, the Haidach of Min Hatrin Heyin Shalom Midui Shem Sag, V'chatikun Hazeh, this Tikun, right? Shuhu Keo Hanizkar Yotza Min, these two Trin Yudin. Now, he didn't tell you how for the two Yudin then begins this concept of the name Keo. I don't see the connection at this point, except that Keo represents the two Yud, the three Yuds there, when the three Yuds and the Aleph. On the other hand, he says that in the Milui itself, which is Yud Vav Daled Ke Yud, Vav Aleph Vav Ke Yud, there's two Yuds there that belong to the Heys. Yatzim in the Trin Yudin shall Milui betrin Heyin now. Because that's a Hey Yud. So you have, that's the two Heys. Those two Heys have Yuds, that's part of the concept of Kale. So let me see, but how does this work? That means Kolomar, Hiskin Tikun Rishon Shu Kale, that first Tikun, which is the name Kale, the Asam and the Trin Yudin, those two Yudin that you're talking about there. Shehem Mikmei Pischa, the Hayin, which is at the opening of the Hays. Now in Adam Kadmon, over there, the light that's coming out of the ears is in the form of a hay, which they break into a dal and a vav and go different kinds of things like that. It's in the form just of a hay. So out of this makes the ears of Atika, as we're saying. Let me read the sentence again. Shemish me pischa the hayin. The opening of the haze. That's a little bit difficult for me to understand what he means by that. Shemehem na'asa haznayim. That's where the aznayim are made out of haze. So that's what he says. Na'asa haznayim shall the tika kamar of Erikan pen adkan. Beinshan o b'shever Yosef. He says Rei Gam Benezer Yisrael Kan Einsham V'Rei Bezeh. It's a lot of sight references over there with maybe a new idea here about the Hey Yud. Let's go back to we read that bet, so we have a very little time, or we have no time, but maybe we can read it real quickly. Let me. Mizchar the Farish Allah Shem B'Sifra D'Tzniuta Nache B'Shefira B'Reish D'Sivavon. Okay, we got to go. We'll get to that next time. This is Baruch Flashman. This is the Tikun Elevator Caller. I'm your very own Saba, and I hope that we're learning a little bit something.